Hi, and welcome everybody to our NFL betting edition. It's Wednesday, December the 8th. And as always on Wednesdays, that guy on the other side of me, his name's Chip Chirimbus. He's pretty good himself. So Chipper, always a pleasure to talk to you every week. Always a pleasure to discuss football and sports betting in general. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. You know, the big games are on the line and the big money's out there. And each and every Sunday now, it's just a plethora of winners for us. 5-0 or Fab Five this past week. And once again, hitting our megabuck play 8 out of 9 Sundays now with the best bet winner. And it was easy. We had Seattle and they won by a touchdown outright, getting points. So just really loving the board each and every time we look at it. You and I were discussing it, Ross. You know, games just seem to jump off the page at us right now. Much different now than it was 3 months ago.
Oh, sure. Even 2 months ago. Yeah, I mean, that was a gutsy call with Seattle, a very sharp, astute play by yourself. So congratulations on that, Chip.
Thank you.
And myself, the last 2 Sundays in the NFL, how about 8-1? Not bad. So 3-0 sweep last Sunday, 2 weeks ago, 5-1. I did lose on Monday night in excruciating fashion with the Buffalo Bills, and I'm not going to get into that. So we're going to concentrate on games being played on Sunday, the 12th of December. And, you know, Chip, before we get to the games, I'm looking at this whole thing with how the road teams have done this year in the NFL. And I went to my database and really narrowed it down. Road underdogs this year are 56-29 against the spread. Road underdogs of 7 or less. I'm sorry.
Okay.
56-29 against the spread. It's 65.8% on the year. That's we're going into, let's see, we're going into week 14. So the first 13 weeks of the year. And also that included going 3-1 straight up in ATS last week. Again, so not only are they covering at a high rate, but they're also upsetting these favorites straight up at better than 50%. So anyway, your thoughts? Is it happenstance or is it, you know, what is it?
Well, you know, I hadn't thought about it, and you know, I've just been happy with the results we've had so far. I have a buddy in the business, in the industry, that always thinks it's always going to swing back. It's always going to come back to even up, you know, before it's all over. And you have the database to establish and prove that. And, you know, there are ebb and flows anytime in sports. This is an anomaly of being this strong for road underdogs. I don't ever equate it like that. And and we used to try and sneak by with a certain type of road dog out there. And if they're coming in now in bunches, but I don't know if it was this high, Ross, at the very beginning of the season, because it just seemed like we were getting beat in certain situations. And maybe that was with home dogs, because you're talking about visiting dogs. And of course, you know, maybe a 1,500, 3,000 mile difference.
Yeah, I mean, and boy, oh boy, I hope you caught that, folks. Anyway, yeah, they did start out real strong, road underdogs. When I was looking the first 3 weeks or so, they were at an incredible number, but it's maintained pretty much. And you're right, Chip. You know what I look at? This isn't a betting angle. I mean, yes, it applies to all teams in the same situation, but it's under the umbrella of one season, 14 weeks of one season. What I do is when I see something like that and there's no other variables, if they're coming off a win, if the other team's coming off a loss, it's just a straight road underdogs. You go back to 1980, like I did, and you'll see it's nothing but a 50-50 proposition. So whoever told that wise guy, wise man, let's call him a wise man, because you know, wise guy sometimes takes on another interpretation.
Right.
You know, you would think that it would even out.
So so right now we should be taking the home favorites under a touchdown and fading.
What I'm saying is next year it could be the home favorites.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Over the next 3 years, it evens out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So again, folks, when I mention this, it's just food for thought. Okay, it's coming up with a topic that maybe not a lot of people who don't follow it like we do are aware of. Okay. And secondly, you just can't no brain NFL picks or college or any sport to say, well, the road underdogs are winning. I'm going with all the road underdogs this week.
right,
So,
I
you know,
agree.
anyway. So I don't want to think we were implying that. In any event, Chipper, you got a free play coming
I
up
do.
for Sunday in the NFL. Let's hear it.
All right, well, it's a great game in the NFC East. I mean, Dallas is going to Washington. Washington now at 6-6 and playoff bound, according to Anita. Anyway, Dallas 8-4, still leading the pack. And you know, the more impressive thing about the Cowboys is that they're 9-3 against the number. They're 7-0 against the number in their last 7 games in the NFC, and they still have the #1 offense in the NFL. Now, I know the Washington football team's getting a lot of support here, Ross. I've seen it. I've seen it on TV, and I've just got to, you know, it's the ebb and flow of our industry, and I can feel the money coming, and I could see people being willing to play against the Cowboys here. Dallas is 5-2 the last 7 times they played at Washington. Although, you know, the football team swept both games last year. They beat Dallas twice when Dallas had a horrific year. Dallas is out to get even. They're 16-7 against the NFC East. And meanwhile, Washington, during the same, this is against the number, of course, Ross. Washington, the same period, is 5-12 against the NFC East. So the numbers come down. The odds maker gave Dallas more respect than the public, and the public's been taking Washington a little bit here. And this is a tough spot to lay with the Cowboys on the road. But I think Dallas is the side over Washington.
Okay, so you like right now, as of this morning of this taping, the Dallas Cowboys are
I saw them at 4, Ross.
yeah, I think they're down to 3.5, if I'm not mistaken.
Even better. Let's wait till game time and we'll
Yeah,
lay a
it's
pickle.
came down to 3.5. So right now, Chipper is saying Dallas minus 3.5. I'm sure he would recommend, if that's the number and it doesn't
Yes.
come down any further, buy that half a point, get it down to that key number, because a push is always better than a loss. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's
smart.
fundamental betting. What you do on key numbers. When I say key numbers, folks, I know this might bore somebody like Chip, who knows them all, and anybody who's an avid sports betting enthusiast. But key numbers in football: 3, 6, 7, 10, 13, and 14. Those are the numbers that games land on the most over the course of time in a long period. So it's again, I could live with a push. I can't live with losing by a half a point on a key number. And I'm also a proponent of buying all off of all hooks in basketball. But that's me, because you know, 1 out of every 11 losses, Chipper. For every 11 losing plays you have, if you catch a push on 1 of those 11 losing plays because you bought that extra half a point, you're ahead of the game.
It's already helped me this year in the basketball season already a couple times.
Yeah.
Where you know, the opening number and where it moves to and where you end up, and so you know, listen, you get the best number you can. When I see it moving all the way down a certain situation, I try and steal another half point, and
sure,
I do it often.
So again, Chipper likes the Dallas Cowboys right now. Again, folks, keep in mind, we're taping on Wednesday, the 8th, depending on when you view the video. There may be a line change, but as of right now, Dallas minus 3.5. And I think I could speak for Chip when I say, if you get that number, buy it down to 3, right, Chipper? I mean,
well, I think they're going to make it. You know, I think they're going to cover the
You think
original
they're-
number, which was 5.
Yes.
So, you know, anything under 5, I'd lay.
okay. So again, Chip's going against the grain here, because I have heard the same things over the airways over the last 3 days or so. Everybody's loves an underdog, you know, and the Washington football team with Taylor Heineke, who's easy to like, right, Chip?
I like him a lot. I really
do
do. I hate
too,
playing
but-
against him, you
But
know.
he ain't paying our bills. So if you like the other side, you like the other side. Hey, I'm going to look at the Ravens and the Browns, and that game goes at 1:00 on Sunday. And this line opened with Baltimore being a 1-point favorite. It's now Cleveland minus 2.5. So, which it raised an eyebrow to me. And this is a real scheduling oddity, Chip, where we have a Cleveland team playing 2 straight games against the same opponent during regular season action. Now, I'm not sure if that ever happened in the course of the NFL, but it's going to happen this Sunday. Now, it's happened, I know, in the regular season in the playoffs, where Two teams face each
Right.
other in the regular season final, and then
Yeah.
they play in the playoffs, right? But Cleveland, to clarify, Chip, Cleveland had a bye last week. And
Right.
when they played 2 weeks ago, they lost 16-10 at Baltimore. So you see where I'm going with this? I
Yeah,
don't know. You ever?
I do remember it happening years ago. You have to remember there was a 12-game schedule. There were only 8 teams, in a division. So there were times when I think the Browns and the Giants played back to back. I could during the middle of the season.
Leave it to you to make us look old. A 12-game schedule. That was pre-1960. So
That's right. That's right.
So
What do you want me to tell you? The
you know what?
Giants were 8. Listen to me.
Listen,
Giants
our
were 8-3
average
and
audience
1.
is in the mid-30s, buddy. Come on.
The Steelers were 8-4. The Browns were 7-5. It was one of those years.
And Wyatt Tittle was a quarterback of the Giants.
And the wind blew everything he threw to the side, just like it did to your boy on Monday.
Anyway, getting back to my free pick, sorry to get off kilter here a little bit, folks. Look, Cleveland is coming off that 16-10 loss to Baltimore, but the Browns have gone 3-0 straight up in their last 3 games following a loss, so they've been very resilient. Now, I'm going to use some hockey terminology here that you hear a lot during playoff time, but this is do or die for Cleveland. When you talk about do they have a legitimate opportunity to get back in the AFC North? Yes, if they win, and an unequivocal no if they lose, because right now they trail the Ravens by 2 games. And if they were to lose this game, they'd fall 3 games behind with 4 to go, and Baltimore would hold the tiebreaker because they won both games. Not only that, Chip, if they lose this game, they're putting themselves in a real difficult position in terms of the final AFC wildcard spot. They'll be on the outside looking in, no doubt. And then there's a bunch of teams all, bunched up. So my point being is there's going to be a lot of urgency and desperation on the part of the Browns. And if anything different than that happens, I would be extremely disappointed as a Cleveland fan and as a Cleveland backer like I am in this game, because I'm going to lay, it's 2.5, but I'm going to go to the money line here. Okay. I looked at the money line. It's minus 135. That's not bad, folks, when you're talking about a 2.5 point spread. Sometimes we're looking at 140 to 145. There's still some value there. Anything under 140 to me, when you get a close point spread like this. And again, the bottom line is if you'll kick yourself in the ass if they win by 1 or 2 and you don't cover. So we're asking you to bet an extra 25 cents on a dollar and just win the game outright. So I like Cleveland minus 135 over Baltimore. And Chip Chirimbus likes Dallas, buy them down from 3.5 to 3 as a favorite over the Washington football team. And anyway, Chip, what do you got coming up? How's basketball been doing? Tell the folks where they could find you and your time to shine, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. It's a great time of the year because, I am called the big game player. And now the games are big and the big money are on these games and everything's falling into place, Ross. We hit our college game of the year Saturday. Once again, Alabama outright. That's 5 straight conference game of the year winners that we've had in college. And on Sunday, it's even better. We've hit 8 out of 9 on Sunday with our Megabuck single strongest plays. Get a hold of me. Go to chipwins.com, go to aplay.com. Follow the instructions. They're really simple, and you just get to me and we'll work something out with big game plays. Ross, I've lined up, how we list games for the bowls, and I've listed up 7 to 13 games that I consider potential best bet winners out there. I'm sure I'm going to get rid of some, and some actually might be added to that. So I'm really excited. I think I'm going to see like 7 to 10 games that I'm going to post as Megabuck winners in college football.
Now, usually we do 2 shows. We do a college football betting show and an NFL betting show. We're not doing a college football betting show this week because the only game on the board on Saturday or this week is Navy and Army. And it would be unfair for us to give that game out because we'll inevitably end up using the game and give it to our clients on Saturday. Having said that, the bowl season starts next week. We got 2 games on Friday and I think 6 more on Saturday. So tune in on Monday next week, is I'll be doing an early college football bowl show with Doug Upstone. And then I think if I work it out with Chip, we might do it the same day, our college football bowl predictions for one of those 8 games being played in the first weekend of bowl season. So stay tuned for that, folks. We'll have a lot on the agenda in that regard. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly take a second to do so. It costs you absolutely nothing. And if you've been with us all season, you're getting world-class sports betting advice. And I'm sure that most would agree with that. In any event, myself, Chip, 11-4 with my last 15 in the NFL, 8-1 the last 2 Sundays. I told you, folks, I got off to a slow start in both footballs. I'm going to finish strong. How about the last 5 weeks in college football, including championship week last week? 26-13 over the last 5 weeks in college football. And again, folks, 8-1 the last 2 Sundays in the NFL. All my picks, I am on a 33-19 run right now, which is good for 63%. And that's after going 0-2 last night. So, things are going good. For myself with Chip, you can find Chip at chipwins.com. You can find me at rbwins.com. And folks, listen, I got a special offer, and I'll turn it back to Chip real quick to finish. If you call me right now, 781-571-0299, I'll make it not just right now. How about up until Saturday? If you call me right now, and up until Saturday, I will have a Christmas special offer on any weekly, monthly, or annual package. I'll give you 50% off. I accept all major credit cards. You're going to talk to me directly. I don't employ salespeople. There's no hard sell. You're in or out. And please don't call me and say, Ross, what about your daily package you have up for $35? Could I get that for $17.50? Save your breath. The answer is no. Anyway, Chip, any closing words?
No, just give me a call because the big games and the big money are on the line, Ross, and we've never been hotter.
Okay, chipwins.com. You'll see his phone number pasted right across the top. 781-571-0299. Call me. I accept all major credit cards. 50% off. It's a Christmas special offer, and it's good up until Saturday, December 11th. Until the next time, for Chip Chirimbus and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.